Least Like Critic 75 asks, what's my favorite fight scene in a movie? Does the scene in Boogie Nights count with Sister Christian and Jesse's Girl? Because if that does, I mean, that's one of my favorite scenes of all time. But you know, there are a ton of fight scenes in, you know, the Indiana Jones movies, of course. A lot of battles in Lord of the Rings. One of also my favorite fight scenes is between Roddy Piper and Keith David in They Live. That's a really funny, really good fight scene. If you haven't seen that, then definitely check out They Live. It's a really cool movie. And which comic book character would I like to see be brought to the big screen? I'm not a huge comic book guy. I don't know much about any of the comic book, you know, universes, but I guess seeing Flash now on the big screen, you know, in this other DC world that they're now creating, I mean, that would be really cool. I really haven't seen a really great cinematic Flash. So, Let's Talk Movies asks, why are you as bad as you are? You. Let's Talk Movies also asks, what's my favorite Lou Taylor Pucci performance in 2011? Well, obviously my favorite 2011 Lou Taylor Pucci performance is his performance as Kid Called Kelly in The Legend of Hell's Gate, An American Conspiracy. What else? XX Foo Fighter 123 XX asks, what's my favorite Tarantino movie? Pulp Fiction. Bill Yummy asks, explain in detail why everyone claims you suck. Well, you know, that's a joke, you know, those guys. Anyway, he also asks, what's your most anticipated movie for the rest of 2013? Probably Wolf of Wall Street, Inside Llewyn Davis. I'm probably forgetting some, but I think it's between those two. There are a lot more that I'm really anticipating, but probably it comes down to those two. What's my most anticipated movie of 2014 as of right now? Well, Interstellar and Inherent Vice. I know those are probably two obvious ones, but those are definitely my most anticipated, not Amazing Spider-Man 2. What's my favorite movie of the 2010s decade so far? Django Unchained is my favorite. The Master comes really close, but Django Unchained, both 2012 movies. Who is the most quotable movie character? Well, there's basically every Judd Apatow movie is insanely quotable. But of course, there's Arlie Ermey's character in Full Metal Jacket. Very famous one, of course, Spicoli in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And his last question is, what performances this year should be considered for Oscar/NIFA nominations? Well, for Oscars, I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio is getting heat for Wolf of Wall Street, although they don't like Leonardo DiCaprio for some reason. I mean, Michael B. Jordan will probably be nominated for Fruitvale Station. You know, there are a lot of NIFA nominations so far. I mean, we've really nominated a lot of people for This Is the End for actor and supporting actor comedy. We all have, I think, Ryan Gosling really high for Place Beyond the Pines. Those are the ones I'm pretty sure about. But I mean, there are a lot of performances coming our way. John Kaufman asks, who's my favorite director? I usually say Martin Scorsese, but I mean, runner-ups are, you know, the usual people like Stanley Kubrick, Quentin Tarantino. Werner Herzog, I really need to see more of his work, but I just really, really appreciate him, probably more than any other director. But I can't really call him one of my favorites because I need to see more of his work. And Paul Thomas Anderson. You see, not the most original picks, but still. Volwolf asks, what's your favorite movie genre? I don't really have a favorite main movie genre, because I think if you're a movie critic, you really have to, like, not favor any main movie genre. You have to kind of be open to every kind of movie. There are subgenres that I like more than others. I really like dramedies. I really like psychological horror movies. Just, you know, I can't really pick, you know, do I like comedy, do I like horror, do I like action, because I think you really have to just be equally open to all of those. He also asks, what makes a good movie review? I really like that question. If we're talking about video movie reviews, I think, you know, you just have to really wrap your thoughts up in a quick, entertaining way. The reason I use, you know, video editing is because I don't want to try to just throw all my thoughts out and then, or, you know, because if I don't, then there'll be like a lot of pauses and ums and it'll just be really messy. Also, you really need to kind of change up your review for each movie. And what I mean by that is, don't really go through this same kind of formula. Like, one thing I really don't like seeing in reviews is when people just go through each, you know, component of a movie and just say, oh, this was good, you know, the acting was good, this person was good, this thing was bad, blah, blah, blah. You really can't just have the same kind of format per se for each review. Kind of need to treat every movie on its own, talk about what works, what doesn't work, and don't say, oh, acting good, story good, directing, bad. That doesn't really make a really good movie review, in my opinion, so I try to stay away from that. The Boys Don't Cry 96 asks, have you seen the film Takers? No, so I'm just gonna, stop the question right there. Do I relate to The Cat in the Box? Fuck no. T.I. is not a star, so I'm not even gonna say that question. And can I have whatever I like? No. Sir Ty Jensen asks, who is my favorite actor? I don't really have one favorite actor, but Daniel Day-Lewis maybe, because he just can fucking transform himself into anything. He can really play any kind of role. Just the variety of characters he's played is absolutely remarkable. And, I wasn't supporting him at all for Best Actor last year, even though I don't mind that that performance won. I hated that it was like a fact that, oh, Daniel Day-Lewis gave the best performance of that year, and he didn't. It's not a fact. So I was kind of anti-Daniel Day-Lewis last year, but no, he's a phenomenal actor. Der Wutende Metzger asks, why do I refuse to see Kill the Irishman? Because it sucks. I'm kidding. No, you keep asking me to see that, and keep asking. 51 movies you might see asks, what is your least anticipated movie for the rest of the year? Probably Las Vegas. 2, have you ever watched a movie in an empty theater? The only time I really remember specifically was The Mist. I know I saw that in an empty theater. I probably saw a couple other movies in empty theaters. I can't really remember them. And 3, has there ever been a movie playing at your local theater that you've never heard of? I think so. A couple that just came out of nowhere, but I mean, they were really independent theaters, and I usually know every movie that comes out. It's some of them are just random as hell, though. Softfan 101 asks, what's my worst movie-going experience? There have been several where, like, when I saw Cloud Atlas, there were 2 babies in the theater. That was at a theater I've been to about 7 or 8 times, and never has there been not a baby. Maybe one time, one of those, like, 8 times I went, there wasn't a baby in the theater. There usually always are. When I saw Cloud Atlas, there were 2 babies, which was ridiculous. But, I guess the one that was the worst was when I saw a double feature of The Final Destination and Gamer, and it was a Sunday, and I saw those 2 movies, and they were both awful, and I just got home, and I kind of just wanted really badly to just kill myself. I did not see a point in life after that. It really was a really depressing experience. Who is the person that I despise the most? Paul Dano. He also asks, what was I for Halloween last year? I wasn't anything. I haven't dressed up for Halloween or trick-or-treated since, like, 6th grade, I think, and that was because I had to, like, monitor my brother because he was going, and I just put, like, a Jason mask, but I didn't collect candy. So I guess technically Jason was the last person that I dressed up for, but that was 5-6 years ago. His next question is, do I ever fill my bathtub up with marinara sauce and roll around and pretend I'm a meatball? Yes. Reviews by Ted asks, have I ever seen Horton Hears a Who? It's my favorite picture. You can look at it on Space Sticks. What Teddy is referring to is this picture that he saw and described to me, that he saw on a very bad website, of someone doing something with a certain body part that releases food that you eat. And he said that it reminded him, the thing he was doing with that body part reminded him of Horton Hears a Who. So I have not seen that picture, and I'm not going to, and I don't endorse anyone to. Oh, and what's my favorite scene of the year? Probably the chase, the motorcycle chase in Place Beyond the Pines, or the heaven scene in This Is the End, which reviews by Ted hates, by the way. He hated This Is the End. Chris Zum37 returns with more questions. He asks, is there anyone who I idolize? Well, yeah, the people, my favorite actors, my favorite directors. Someone I used to, like, worship and really idolize and was George Carlin. I used to be, like, a huge fan of George Carlin, but anyone that I idolize, I don't know, just people that I like the most. What are all the posters behind me? You see, I have a lot of posters, but for some reason, I only have, like, the worst posters on my wall. I haven't gotten around to, like, I have, like 30 posters all stacked up here on much better movies. I have, like, Man of Steel, I have The Conjuring, I have Iron Man 3, I have a shitload. But you see, I'm just too lazy to hang them up, and so instead you get to see Man on a Ledge, and Catfish, and Oblivion, and over there's The Bourne Legacy. I don't know. Yeah, I'll get to putting up the good ones soon. Favorite YouTubers, the thing with me watching YouTubers now, I don't watch nearly as many. I don't watch any of the popular, like, really most popular ones anymore, because I think their videos are just so overproduced now. I mainly just watch movie reviews. If not that, I watch The Amazing Atheist a lot. I watch The Nostalgia Critic a lot. And besides that, just, people who I know. I watch Dustin's Mr. G movie reviews a lot. I watch Let's Talk Movies. Boys Don't Cry 96, if he uploads a review, I'll watch it. Mainly just those kind of people. I'm not a huge YouTube watcher anymore. And the final question of the day is, have I ever joined a club or a cult? Depends what you mean by that. Clubs, I guess I'm in a club, New York Film Academy, that's a club. Cult? No. But, yeah, thanks for the questions, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed me answering your questions that you were just dying for answers for. And I'll see you next time.